one.
Good morning, everybody. Saturday, October the 30th. Joe Perfari, Rob DeSona, Igor Henriquez, Brandon Graham. Guys, we're in week 7 now. I guess you can call this the halfway point since we have an extra week. But I think at this point we kind of know who the decent teams are, who the bad ones are, and teams to kind of bet for. Really good Thursday nighter. I caught the end of it. I know that you guys were chatting about it too. AJ Green ended up dropping that ball. Didn't even really.
Not even looking.
His controller died. Arizona finally loses a game, and that Aaron Rodgers meme was pretty electric. I like that one. But let's get into this week. We'll start off close to home. Buffalo Bills, 14-point favorites against the Dolphins. Last time these teams got together, I believe it was around 35-0 for the Bills when they went to Miami. Brandon, we'll start with you. Let me know what you're thinking about this one.
Yeah, Miami Dolphins are hungry right now, right? They should have won the game last week against Atlanta Falcons. That was honestly, in a bad week, that was the best game of the week. If you really think about it, Younghoe Koo with that game winner. But Tua actually came through. He had to make 2 touchdowns late. He did that. But they're going up against the Bills, who are off a bye. All right, and it's going to be a game where they're actually playing this in Buffalo as well, too. I believe it's going to be in the weather. Yeah, am I right? I think I am.
Yeah,
no,
Buffalo.
This is that in Buffalo, Orchard Park, of course. Yeah, give me the Bills. Give me the Bills. I know it's 14 points. It's a lot of points. Give me the Bills for now. I might change that later on. We're going to circle this game right here.
The first one we're circling. Igor, go ahead.
You know what? Everything points to a convincing Bills victory, but it's very rare. And I was doing that whole thing last week with the whole Jets Patriots thing, which actually was another blowout, but also because the Jets quarterback got injured pretty early. 14 points in a division game, that's usually a recipe for disaster. I don't think Miami's as bad as they've been throughout the season. I think they're starting to get healthier. Tua is what he is, but again, in a division game, if you're going to give me the 2 touchdowns, I'm always going to take the spread there, and I'm going to take the Miami Dolphins to cover the 2 touchdowns.
All right, and Rob.
Yeah, I would do the same. Although I wouldn't play this game, but yeah, it would be Miami for me. Yeah, Miami, but stay away from this game.
I would take Miami too, with all the rumors with Tua and the Deshaun Watson rumors. He's playing better, and like you guys said earlier, he's getting better, and the wideouts seem to be coming together for them as well. The running game's still terrible, but what was that, Igor?
Well, Jalen Waddle's starting to get in there, and they're starting to get some guys healthier and so forth.
Yeah, they're getting healthier. I think that just even the law of averages, they're going to come to earth a little bit. They're not as bad as their record is. And for that reason, like I said, I'd like them to at least keep this one close. I know the rule generally. No?
I just want to say, hey, you guys are forgetting they lost to the Titans. Okay, the Buffalo Bills lost to the Titans. They're coming off a bye. I think everyone's drinking this Miami Dolphins Kool-Aid because it's 14 points. What happened last time? We had a big spread with the Bills. They end up tramping, literally stepping over the Houston Texans 4-0. Hey, same recipe of disaster. Miami's going from a warm area, of course, in Miami to Buffalo. It's going to be tough, and Tua is not good in bad weather. I'm going to hammer this. Circle this game, please. I'm going to leave myself.
You know, Brandon, you're talking a lot. This is now my locker of the week. Miami plus the 14. Miami plus the 14 is my lock. Okay, I was going to say, a lot of the rules, what people end up having, like a general betting rules, the team coming off a bye, take them, and it's not what it used to be anymore. Like, the lines are obviously adjusted too. I'll take the 14 points. You got to remember, Brandon, this team lost 35-0 to home. Like, these guys are going to be ready to go against Buffalo. They were embarrassed.
Of course, I know. Right? I know. But hey, it can be close the entire game, and then.
Yeah, Buffalo's been covering a lot too. Of course. Yeah, we're going to circle this game. We'll come back to it. Let's go to the next one. So Carolina is traveling to Atlanta, one of Rob's favorite teams, and Atlanta is a 3-point favorite. I'll go first. Anytime Atlanta is a favorite, give me the other team. Now, Carolina, Sam Darnold have not been great. McCaffrey, we know, has been out. But I'm going to take the points here because I don't think Carolina, another team, is as bad as we've seen. And I think that line it has a lot of people kind of questioning why Atlanta's a favorite. Now, Kyle Pitts has been incredible the last few weeks. Ever since that London game, he's been on fire. But I still like that Carolina defense. They're past the defense especially. So I'll take Carolina plus a 3. And Igor, what do you on this one?
I'm going to have to disagree. I mean, I've been on the Panthers bandwagon the last, when they start off 3-0, they've been terrible ever since. Sam Darnold got benched the last game. He looks like he's regressed back to the Sam Darnold in the Jets days. Nothing's really clicking for them on a lot of levels. And I think it's the opposite for the Falcons. I think you just mentioned Pitts. I still think you're going to get a breakout game out of Calvin Ridley eventually. Man, Cordell Patterson's doing some things in the running game. They're just right now the better looking team, and at home with a field goal spread, I'm going to take the team that's been performing better over the last few weeks, or a team that's has no identity right now. I mean, Darnold's gone back to being an interception machine. Nothing right now tells me that the Panthers have any momentum. So I'm going to take the team with the momentum and the home team, and I'll take the Falcons in the 3.
Brandon.
Yeah, I have to agree with Igor there. All right. Kyle Pitts hasn't dropped the ball since college. Think about that. Okay. That's a real stat. And he's been on a tear. The defense is playing a little bit better. Got that win last week, of course. Matt Ryan's going to Matt Ryan, but they're just a better team than Carolina Panthers. Carolina is no one. They have no identity without Christian McCaffrey. They lost every game since he's been out. I don't see anything changing. Cordell Patterson is running the ball really well, as Igor said. I'm taking the Panthers. Taking the Falcons in this one.
You're going against your guy Chuba in this one, eh?
Yeah, you have to, man. Hey, Matt Rule's not playing him the right way. Definitely going to take the Falcons.
Rob.
Yeah, Carolina's been playing so bad that I will actually take them. And I feel like this is a bounce back spot here. So I'll take Carolina. I'll take the 3 points. I don't trust Atlanta. I don't trust them at all.
I was going to say, like, if you're Sam Darnold, you've had a bad game. This is the kind of defense you want to see to get you back on track. So I'll go there. I know their backup's not very good either. I've seen him throw a little bit. Let's go to a big division game. So the Steelers, not the same team they've been, kind of turning it around a little bit for their sake. There was an interview with the coach there when he was asked about the college job, and he absolutely snapped and left it. I don't know if you guys saw that, Tomlin. But let's look at this one. So Pittsburgh traveling to Cleveland. Baker Mayfield is in, and Cleveland's a 4-point favorite. Rob, do you have a thought? Do you want to go first?
I would lean Cleveland here. I don't think there's a downgrade if Baker Mayfield doesn't play. So yeah, so I'll lean Cleveland. This is probably a mistake because Pittsburgh, I think, are they coming off a bye, or they didn't cover against Seattle?
They are coming off a bye, and then they didn't cover against Seattle on the Sunday.
Yeah, so it's probably a good spot to take Pittsburgh. So this is probably a little square, but I'll lean with Cleveland.
All right, Igor?
It's a tough game because I really liked what the Browns' running game, and they're getting Chubb back, so that'll definitely make it a different situation there. Again, in these games, usually they're very hard fought, like, one-score games. So, if I'm going to get 4 points, I'm probably going to lean toward the Steelers. Yeah. I think it'll be a field goal game, so I'll take the extra point there, and I'll stick with the Steelers to cover there.
Yeah, Brandon.
Yeah, this is the battle of the bottom of the AFC North, right? Steelers are 3-3. Of course, Cleveland Browns are number 3 in the AFC North. I'm going to take the Steelers. I know Baker's coming right back into it. Case Keenum played okay. Deners Johnson came out of nowhere and actually had a good game last week against, I believe, the Broncos. But yeah, I'm going to take the Steelers to cover this right here in Cleveland. These are usually really hard fought, but hey, Ben Roethlisberger's got to get a game. They've got to get something coming off a bye. They're going to be pounding there. So hopefully the Steelers win. I'm taking them the points.
Yeah, so I'll just go playoff picture in the AFC North. So Bengals and Ravens both tied at 5-2, and then we got Cleveland at 4-3, and then Pittsburgh 3-3 coming off the bye. Cleveland covered a lot early. I know they had that one road trip. I believe they lost at LA Chargers, but they had another big win. I'm drawing a blank on the team. They also beat some good teams, drawing a blank. But I like Pittsburgh here because I think that their defense is going to bring it. I think it's going to be a really low-scoring game, like maybe even under 20 for both teams. So I'll take my luck there. And anytime Baker Mayfield's there, and I have a feeling I feel like their climate's going to be the same as ours. I feel there's going to be some rainy games in the Northeast here. And I like the teams there with, the solid running game. Obviously, Pittsburgh doesn't have that. But Najee Harris, you got to feed him the ball. Big fan of his. So I think that I'll take Pittsburgh there +4. And Brandon, that'll transition us into our next game and your boys, Cincinnati 10.5. Go to the Jets. Go in.
Listen right here, okay? Listen, the number 1 team in the AFC as of right now are the Cincinnati Bengals. All right, just take a moment and let's just appreciate this moment for a second. This is my this is my survivor pick of the week. I believe Zach Wilson is still out. So Mike White, the real Mike White, Mike White is going to be playing in as quarterback for the New York Jets. They're 1-5. The Bengals are rolling. Okay, Jamar Chase is rolling. Uzama, the tight end's rolling. Defense, honestly, more impressive is the defense. Von Bell's playing really well. Sam Hubbard, Hendrickson has like, I believe, 5 sacks over the past 3 games. Right, so they're just clicking on all cylinders. I honestly don't even think Zach Taylor's probably so surprised. He has no idea. I'm actually a winning franchise. They're playing well, but Joe Burrow, the top of it all, Joe Burrow's already he's thrown for pretty much 2,000 yards already. But that's, due to the fact that Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, even Taj Boyd, oh my gosh, Boyd, of course, they're playing well as well too. But they had weapons at all positions. Mixon's playing well. Samaje Perine comes in the game. He runs well. This game, 10 points. I'm taking the Cincinnati Bengals. Sorry, I went on a little rant there.
But Matt cut a promo on us.
Yeah. 10.5 points. I'm taking the Cincinnati Bengals to win this game.
Beautiful. Igor, do you like them too?
You know what? I trusted the Jets last week because I thought they'd bounce back against my Patriots. They were absolutely a disaster. I mean, everything tells you that the Bengals should win this by probably 3 touchdowns. Another different QB for the Jets. They've been atrocious. Their home games, they've done well. The only issue I have with the Bengals is obviously it's a classic letdown spot after that big win against the Ravens, which they absolutely crushed Lamar Jackson. But 10.5, the Jets are so bad. I don't think they'll be able to keep pace. So I'll take the Bengals to cover.
All right. And Rob?
Yeah, and this game opened at like 8.5, so it's been bet way up. Cincinnati's got Cleveland, Vegas, Pittsburgh coming up, so it could be a letdown spot. 80% of the money's on Cincinnati.
Say it, Rob.
80-20
the Jets.
80-20 rule. I'll take the Jets plus the 11.
Wow. There you go, Rob.
Another telling sign for me here when I look at the big spreads is the total. If the total's high, usually the team that's favored ends up covering. I think the Jets are going to throw the kitchen sink at Cincinnati, being at home, embarrassing off that loss to the Pats. I like the Jets here just to keep it close. Brandon, don't put a curse on me, but I think that the Bengals are a little bit better than not as good as they've shown. Let's not forget that Jags game that we all were chatting with. They were down 14-0 at the half against arguably the worst team in football. Their offense is definitely explosive. Their defense has been much better than advertised. I think they're going to win. I just think it might be they end up winning by 7 or something like that. Any of those games that get teased up by 1, 2, or 3 points, that just increase as the week goes on. For the most part, since I followed, the dog ends up covering. I'll go with the Jets at home. The total's at 43. I think it's going to be low scoring there as well. Let's move on. Let's move on to the Tennessee Titans. This is going to be a must-win game for the Colts because Tennessee already won the first meeting with these two teams. Indy's been on a tear of recent. I believe that they've won 4 in a row. If not, they've been pretty damn close in every game. So right now they're 3-4, and Titans are at 5-2, tied with Cincinnati for best record in the AFC. Who would have thought? Surprisingly, I'm going to have to take the Colts in this one. I don't always take my team.
Wow.
I do think Indy's going to win this one at home. I think a lot of public money is probably going to be on Tennessee because they've been playing really well as of late, beating some good teams. But I think that the Colts are going to take this one at home. It's 2.5 points. Hopefully none of the players hear this. I'm going to take Indy minus the 2.5. Brandon, go ahead.
What? That's such a surprising spot for you, Joe. You never see something amazing. I'm going to take the Tennessee Titans here. I think Derrick Henry's playing really well. The defense is playing a little bit better. Holding the Chiefs at 3 points last week. You got to repeat that, in 2 weeks. You got to be consistent. I'm going to take Tennessee for the plus 2.5.
All right. Igor.
Yeah, I think the Titans have figured a lot of stuff out defensively. And I think, I don't usually trust Carson Wentz in a lot of these situations. I think Derrick Henry's pretty much made to play this Colts defense. A lot of smaller base guys. I think Henry has a big game. If you're giving me the Titans, then all you got to do is, I think Titans win the game, to be honest. I'll take the 2.5 for the Titans.
I like that. You guys are convincing me, but I'm still sticking with the Colts. Rob, go ahead.
This is one of 2 games that are just mega trap games. This is a trap game, and this is the definition of a trap game. Mm-hmm. And Vegas set this line at Tennessee as a favorite. I think it's been bet to 2.5 now for Indy. I'm taking Indy. Indy's going to win this game, and I think they win. It's a trap spot, bad spot for Tennessee. Trap line. Vegas wants their money back. Vegas is getting hammered. This is one of the games where they're going to get their money back. because everybody's going to be on Tennessee. I didn't even check the numbers. Where are the numbers?
2.5 for the Colts.
No, 65% money on Tennessee. Like Vegas is coming back for their money. They want it back.
The public had abandoned Tennessee a few weeks ago, right? Because they were playing terrible. They were getting 35 piece by every team they were playing. They play the Chiefs, who have been terrible recently, and turn it around there. I think this is a letdown spot for Tennessee, and this is the Colts season. If they lose this game, I'm like, it's almost certain they have no shot at winning that division at 3-2. Titans then go to 6-2. Sorry, 3-3 against 7-2 would be the records. Going back to the Colts' last 4 games, I thought they had won 4 in a row. The only loss they had, so they beat the Dolphins. After their loss to Tennessee, they beat the Dolphins by 10. Sorry, they lost to the Ravens in that primetime game when they came back at the end. They beat the Texans, they beat the 49ers, and then now they have the Titans and then the Jets coming up, and then the Jags. So they have some wins coming up. They're going to get back into this division.
You can argue though that game in the rain, Joey, like they got lucky because what's his name, porn star Jimmy just couldn't handle the ball, right? So they just got really lucky last week, right? It's all on fake.
They did, but like I said, obviously I've been following this division forever because of my team. But Indy is always there at the end of the season, and if they're going to be there, this is a game they have to win. And I like Rob's story there about the whole trap, and I think that this is a trap game.
Circle this one.
Shout out to Brandon for the porn star.
Yeah, I know we haven't heard that in a while.
I forgot his name for a second.
So let's go Eagles and Detroit. So Eagles 3.5-point favorites at Detroit. I feel like a lot of people are going to be teased into taking Detroit here. My question is really, is Detroit going to win a game this season? Rob, go ahead. 3.5 for the Eagles. They're 2-5 going against 0-7 Detroit team. 3.5.
No real handicap here. I will lean Detroit.
Is that just because of Dan Campbell?
Yeah, I'm scared of him. And I'm on the road right now, just trying to keep my identity and my location secret. But no, I'll lean Detroit. Like no handicap here.
Detroit plus the 3.5 with a question mark here for Rob. Okay, Brandon.
All right, so I don't know if you guys heard Sirianni's press conference this week. He's like, "Hey, we're just laying down the manure. We're just gonna plant our seeds, and we want to grow. We need to grow this week. We got to grow, and when the foundation needs roots go up. So it was all-time worst press conference of all time, and because of that spot, I'm gonna trust Coach TMC and the Detroit Lions to get their first win at home against the Eagles, who are struggling and cannot throw the ball. They're just struggling on all fronts. I'm gonna take Detroit plus 3.5.
Igor.
So this is going to sound like absolute lunacy, but this is my lock of the week.
Oh, wow.
I think this is the Super Bowl for the Detroit Lions. This is their Super Bowl. This is their best chance at a win. They're really tough at home when they play. I think I agree. This is where they win the game. I mean, I saw what Campbell was doing last week with the Rams. He was doing onside kicks to start the game, fake punts. Like they don't care. They're going for 4th and 3s, 4th and 5s. They're like, we got to win a game. I think this is this is their game with a struggling Eagles team that the Lions not only cover, but they actually win the game. So I'll take the 3.5 all day.
Going into this, only because I took a lot of dogs. I had Philly here. I didn't really have a feel on this one. Just going to read a comment that I found. Lions are the best 0-7 team in history. They've been competitive every game. The Eagles are trash. I don't see anything that's wrong there, right? Like if you look at teams that have been winless this late in the season, you have to think that Detroit's one of the better ones. Just like you said, even last week against the Rams, Goff going back to LA. I don't love either team, but I will take Philly here. I will stick with my Philly pick. I just think, I don't know. Detroit, they've been in every game. I just don't know if they're going to win this week. So I will stick with Philly in that one. Going to the next game, Bears. Brandon, Fields has not been great. Obviously, we know your love or hate for Nagy, but San Fran traveling in this one. San Fran's obviously been a letdown. Their injuries, everything here with San Fran has remained the same as it has for the past few years. San Fran's a 4-point favorite. So, Brandon, let us know what you think about this one.
Yeah, this is a tough one. This is a really tough one, but San Fran needs a win, all right? And Matthew Nagy has not really done a great job with Justin Fields. Justin Fields has not been great either. But Matt Nagy's just got to go. He's just got to go. If they lose this game, he's got to go. I've been thinking about this one for a long time because I just don't know what to take. But San Fran needs a win. They're going up against a pretty good defense, but their defense has to play better. Fred Warner's not playing as well as he used to. Nick Bosa's doing all right. That line's not getting too much pressure, but they have to this week against the Bears. Who, like, Justin Fields is the most sackable quarterback at this point. He's second all time in sacks for a rookie, all time, and it's all because of Matthew Nagy. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the San Francisco 49ers for 4-point favorites. I'll take them.
All right, Igor.
Well, I'd like to thank Matt Nagy for making me seem like a genius last week in that Tampa Bay pick, because it was a disaster from the get-go. It was a little bit different than I thought it was going to be, because I thought they wouldn't be able to run the ball and maybe if the passing game would work out. It was the exact opposite. They actually got some decent running done, but couldn't throw the ball a lick. I see a same kind of situation. I think the Bears' offensive line is trash. I think the 49er front seven, like Bosa and Warner, like guys that Brandon mentioned, are going to get a lot of pressure. I think Fields is going to have another real bad day. And as long as porn star Jimmy can manage the game, the Niners win by at least a touchdown. And I'm taking the Niners -4. And hopefully Brandon gets his wish that Nagy gets fired. I doubt it. But, it was just really, really bad last week. I mean, he was getting dismantled by that Bucs front seven. I'm seeing a similar situation this week again.
Before I throw to Rob, so I do have some breaking news to drop on you guys. Matt Nagy's out, which from what I'm seeing with COVID protocols, everybody's calling for a lock of the Bears to win this game. So, Brandon, with Nagy being out, do you want to change your pick?
Nagy's out?
Nagy's out.
Oh. Yeah, give me the Bears. Give me the Bears right now. Give the Bears. Switch it. Yeah, give the Bears. I'll
He's
take
out
Bears
with protocols.
Oh,
addition by subtraction.
Hammer the Bears right now. I'm going to take the Bears, switch that up, +4. There you go.
Igor, do you want to rescind your pick?
No, I think, I think unless Nagy can play, isn't playing the O-line or whatever, they're just still too bad. And the 49ers, the 49ers, if they lose this game, 2-5, they're done. They need to win. If they lose this game, they're in a real bad spot. So no, I'll trust porn star Jimmy to get the job done.
Can Nagy get fired on his sick day off if they lose this game?
That would be all-timer.
Rob, go ahead. Give us your pick.
Very proud of Brandon, reducing the rant from usually a 2-minute to I don't know if you're getting help. I don't know if you're in a group, if you're in a
shrink
Matt Nagy anonymous group, but proud of you, buddy.
Thanks, man.
I'll lean here to San Francisco. The first total that's I think under 40. It's just 39.5, which just shows the confidence that these two offenses have with Vegas. So I will take San Fran.
San Fran, all right. I'm going to stick with San Fran as well. I just think that this, like you guys mentioned, this is a game that they need to win. With my luck, they might end up winning this game and winning it by 3. Igor knows that those threes are a little bit tough, especially going on the road. But I will stick with them, and we will move on to the next game. So next game here, I believe we're moving on to the 4:00 games. Oh, we got one more. Rams going to the Texans. I feel like the Texans are 16-point favorites or 17-point dogs, every week. So Rams coming off that win at home against Detroit, traveling to Houston, 16-point favorites. Rob, I know you don't love the big spreads. Do you have a take here?
I'm hearing rumors that Tyrod might play. Is that true?
Yeah, that's true.
No. Actually, Davis Mills is starting.
He's starting? Okay.
Yeah, he's starting.
I think Houston played really well last week. I think they lost by 20, 21. I think they barely did not cover against Arizona. I think they played Arizona last week.
Yeah.
So, they played well last week. If a bad team plays well, I like to fade them the next week. The Rams kind of got a scare. I think they bounce back. I don't like taking this many points, but I would lean to the Rams.
LA did they cover last week? I'm drawing a blank.
They did not. No,
they did not. Yeah, and I was gonna say, I feel like the Rams are another team. Both these teams here are always in these spots. Like the Rams, I feel like have been big favorites for 2 out of their last 3 weeks or 3 out of their last 4. Brandon, go ahead.
Yeah, I just think it's one of those games where Davis Mills has to, Mills Mafia's got to come back and actually play well. I'm going to take the Houston Texans.
Yeah,
I think the Houston Texans +16 to actually cover the spread there. They're at home. This is a letdown game for the Rams. So they got the Titans and they got the San Francisco 49ers in their bye, and then the Packers. So all the teams they're playing next are actually formidable teams. So I'm going to take the Houston Texans to actually cover.
All right, Igor?
Yeah, I think it's really tough. The Rams are obviously the much better team, but it's definitely tough to get 16 points and going on the road to Houston. I think it'll be a similar situation to the Detroit game where the Rams will win pretty convincingly, but they won't cover the 16 points. Give me the Texans.
I like Houston here too, and a lot of the money obviously on these spreads usually on the big favorite. But a lot of the Houston guys, especially Brandon Cooks, are pretty pissed off that Ingram got traded. Did you guys see that?
Yeah, the Saints.
I don't know. I don't know why. Your team, believe they haven't won a game all season. I don't know what you guys want to hold on to. 1-6, sorry. Going to get 6-1. But I think that maybe this Houston team might be motivated. Obviously, not the best spot for Mills to go against Jalen Ramsey and Donald in that defense. But I'll take Houston in the points. Too big of a spread. I try and take the dogs in these ones as well. Everybody made their pick. Rob, sorry, I didn't get you down. Who'd you take?
Rams.
Okay, so you're the only guy there on the Rams. Let's move on to the 4 o'clock games. A couple of trash teams kicking it off here. So we got the Jacksonville Jaguars traveling to the 12th man and the Seattle Seahawks, who don't have a quarterback. And Seattle's a 3.5-point favorite. Igor, go ahead.
Yeah, in a usual situation, the Jaguars are pretty bad, but I don't trust Geno Smith. I think that offense, the running game hasn't been all that great either. I think the Jaguars are healthier. Got some weapons. I think Chanel Robinson. I just can't trust Geno Smith with a spread over 3. So I'm going to take the Jaguars too. I can see the Jaguars even winning the game, to be honest. I think Seattle's defense has a lot of problems too. I think I'll take the Jaguars to cover the spread.
Brandon?
Yeah, I agree. This is a game where both teams are desperate for a win, but I just don't trust Geno in the light. I just don't. And as Igor said, the Jacksonville Jaguars are much more healthy. Marvin Jones is actually playing really well. Chenault, Robinson. I'm going to take the Jaguars to actually cover the spread there, plus 3.5.
All right, Rob.
Yeah, so Seattle has played basically prime time the last 2 weeks, and their defense has showed out. So this is the game where they didn't want to get embarrassed in their 2 primetime games. I think I'm getting the better team here in Jacksonville. I think Jacksonville's the better team right now. Geno Smith should not be laying 3.5 points against anybody. So not only am I getting 3.5, I'm getting, I think, much better quarterback, better weapons. I'll take Jacksonville. I'm very close to a love, but I'll just like Jacksonville here.
I'm going against all you guys. I think that this defense now, what I've realized in sports is sometimes when you're missing a key guy on your team, the only real option you have is for your defense to come and keep you in the game. And the last 2 weeks, there was that Steelers game where they lost 23-20, which could have gone either way. And then that Saints game, when you're holding the Saints to 13 points, I think that these guys are going to go balls against the wall, regardless or not, if it is primetime game or not. I don't know if you guys saw Russell Wilson trying to do some LeBron and get some TV time in a game he's not playing. My boy said that to me, trying to go over some stuff and stretching. I think that he's going to be in these guys' ear too. Jacksonville, I don't love them. Rob, you talked about Lawrence. I know Geno Smith, this is kind of a battle of quarterbacks that are Trevor Lawrence going to be a lot better, but I'm going to take Seattle here. I've been taking a lot of dogs, and I think that Seattle's going to come in with this game. To be honest, I think it's going to be a convincing one. I think DK Metcalf is going to have a massive game. And I think that Carson's still out, right? I believe he's out for a while.
Oh, yeah, Carson might not. He had a bad neck injury. He might be back. Might not be back for the season. The way that they're talking.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I think
more so Alex Collins
are going to have a really big
game.
They
got Collins and Penny are the running backs.
Yeah.
I'll stick with Seattle there in the 3.5. I think that they're going to win this one big. Jacksonville 1-5. We'll move on to Igor's squad. The Patriots traveling to the Chargers, and Justin Herbert. So at the Chargers, 4-point favorites. Igor, take it away.
I'm gonna have to do it again. I'm gonna have to go against my Patriots. Woo! I think it's I don't know. It's for some reason I know this is one of those situations. I think this happened the first time they played the Jets, where they blew up the Jets, and then the line. I think this is basically one of those lines where the Patriots come off a really big win. The Chargers are coming off a bye. They just got embarrassed by the Ravens. All the signs point to the Chargers winning the game, and I think that the Pats have been in some solid games where I didn't think they would be in, and then they've laid down a lot of stinkers on the road. And again, the one in Houston, for example, was a huge stinker. They still won the game, but barely. I'm going to take the Chargers to win by a touchdown. I think that everything says that they bounce back after being humiliated by the Ravens. They're fresh. They're at home. Everything points toward the Chargers win by a touchdown. But I hope the Patriots win. But for betting sakes,
Me and
I'm
you
going
both
to
going
say that
against our
the
teams
Chargers
this
win the
week.
game.
Yeah. Brandon.
Yeah, I don't know if Mac Jones is really that poised. He's poised, but I don't think he's great on the road as of yet. And I think that, well, of course, they have a big win against the Jets last week, but the Chargers coming off a big loss to the Ravens, they have to bounce back. I think Igor and I are agreeing on pretty much every pick right now. I'm going to take the LA Chargers to cover the points, the 4 points. It's probably win by a touchdown or two. And it will be an interesting game. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if the Patriots actually come out and win this game. But, I'm going to take the Chargers for it. I think it's safe to take the Chargers with the 4 points.
Last year when these teams played each other, Rob, before I throw you, I love the Chargers last year. You guys might remember this one. The Patriots won 45-0 December 6th last year.
I do remember that. Yeah,
that was
in
the
LA.
rookie quarterback. Going against Herbert. And so that's one thing that's kind of scaring me is that New England has played them well, I guess, recently, obviously. The Chargers, not much of a different team than they were last year. But, Rob, with that information, take it away.
Yeah, I was just about to bring that up. 45-0 at home. Like, this is a revenge spot. And, everything points to the New England's coming off scoring 54 points against a garbage Jets team. Chargers off a bye. It's just, this line is saying that the Chargers are only 2 points better than New England. I think they're more than 2 points better. I think they're a much better team. I'll take the Chargers here.
Just on the score up here, so 53% of the money is on the Chargers there, 47% for the Pats. I think the Pats are just probably going to get some public money here just because of the Patriots. If this was, like you said, you're telling me, usually I would guess it was 3 points, but the Chargers are only, a 1 or 2 point favorite on a neutral field. I would take the Chargers not a 10 out of 10 times there, like you said, coming off a bye and then also coming off that embarrassing loss to Lamar Jackson. So this is the first game where all 4 of us are on the same thing. So we will come back to this one as well.
Go Patriots, though.
Minus
Patriots are going to win.
Another big division game here. So in the NFC South, the Bucs are traveling to the Saints. The Bucs are 4.5 point favorites. The Bucs have done a pretty good spot covering those big spreads. Remember, we were talking about all those ones last week. I believe they were the only one that covered the big spread against the Bears. So Igor, we'll go to you. Tom Brady 4.5 on the road to the Saints, and Saints might put together a winning streak here.
So this is an interesting one because, again, both the games in the regular season last year, like the Saints really pummeled the Bucs in both of those games. Again, different squads a little bit. You look at the situation, the Saints still missing, and I was under the impression that Michael Thomas would be back by now. He's not.
I don't think he wants to play football. He's never there.
Yeah, and again, I think there's still some injuries to AB Antonio Brown. 4.5 in New Orleans. I probably lean towards the Saints, just because again, I don't see it being a blowout. I think Winston will have opportunities against that Bucs secondary that's still pretty banged up. It'll be interesting how much usage they use Kamara against that front seven, but I think it'll be a closer game than the 4.5. So I can even see the Saints actually winning the game. So I'm going to take the Saints to cover the spread. I think it'll be a field goal game. I think I'll take the Saints to cover.
Wow.
Brandon.
You're delling your boy Tom. Tom literally played Chief Sosa in this video.
I will say that right now into week 8, and now that Kyler's lost the game, Tom's probably top 2, top 3 for MVP. And for a 44-year-old man, that's a hell of an accomplishment. But go ahead.
Okay, I think
Brandon.
Yeah, I was going to say, going into they have to win this game. This is a big game for them, right? A division game. Tom's going to be amped up. They're all so focused. He has everyone in line. Bruce Arians has it on line. Receivers are playing well. Running backs playing well. Offensive line's playing extremely well for the Buccaneers. And defense is playing well, even without Jason Pierre-Paul. But they're going to a bye next week. So this is a big game. And Tom Brady going into byes are usually, I think his win percentage, I remember from last year, was around 92% of winning the game before bye. So I'm going to stick. Jets. I know they're not the New York Jets, but I'm going to stick with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. 4.5 points. I see them winning by at least 10 points.
Oh, wow.
Rob, before you go and throw some numbers out, these are the kind of stats, and Brandon, who knows, like Tampa Bay might end up winning this, but if you pull up any Tom Brady stat, any LeBron James stat, like these guys have won their whole career, especially with Brady being in that division. Like I said, the Bills were the only team that was decent this whole time he's been there in the last, I want to say 20 years. I wanted to bring up some numbers I found surprising. The Saints offense, in terms of total yards, they're 29th in the NFL. They're 31st in passing yards, 11th rushing the ball, which is not surprising. The Saints defense is sitting at 8th in terms of total yards and 2nd in points. And I said earlier this season, I thought the Saints were a top 5 defense. They've lived up to that. Their offense has been what's kind of derailed them this year. The Bucs here, 3rd in offense, 7th in total yards and defense, 10th in points given up at 21. They're number 1 against the run. So maybe I'll throw that out there. The Bucs are number 1 defending the run. So Kamara's going to have his hands full. That means Jameis Winston's going to have to spread the ball around to open things up, maybe use that play action. Rob, that information, take it away.
Yeah, I don't know what to make of that, but
that's setting up me for a New Orleans pick. So I'll just give it right here. I got New Orleans plus 4.5 points. If
all right.
On the wall,
I don't have to do with that.
That was a hell of a segue. I got to give you that.
I don't have to do with that.
You probably should have saved it for you, buddy. But yeah, I'll take New Orleans. I think this is a bit of a trap spot here too. This line doesn't make much sense. It's a trap game, I think, as well. This is the second of 3 trap games. This is my second one, so yeah, I would take New Orleans. Buccaneers probably still win, probably still squeak out a win, but like field goal game.
Yeah, if the Saints are gonna win this division like I predicted, they would be 5-2, and the Bucs would be 6-2 if that ends up happening. So I have the Saints. Rob has the Saints, and then Brandon, go ahead.
I already went. I'm taking some big Buccaneers.
So yeah, both you guys are. Igor, you took the Saints plus the points.
Yeah, Saints.
No, I'm taking Tampa.
All right. So we got 3 games left. Rob, we'll start with you. Washington is going to the Broncos. Broncos 3.5-point favorites. They started off 3-0, and I believe they have not won a game since.
This is the saddest game of the week.
It's up there with the Seattle game for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Denver has not won a game, has not covered a game. They started out 3-0 against spread, now they're 3-4. 4 games to lose against the spread is very tough. They're at home. I'll take Denver, but very reluctantly. I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't cover. They lost this game.
Brandon?
Yeah, I'm rolling. I think this is going to be one of my picks of the week. I don't know. But I'm going to take the Denver Broncos to cover the 3.5 points. I think that this is a game they have to win. It's just, I think Jerry Jeudy's coming off the IR or something's coming very soon. So I think that's going to give them a little boost. I'm going to take Denver with the points to win this game.
Igor.
Yeah, I think, Denver, it was a bad loss to Cleveland. I thought they'd have a good chance of winning that game considering it was Keenum and there was no Chubb. And but they definitely got that running game that running defense got really torn up by Johnson. But, I mean, they've gotten, I guess now they're going to be on 9-10 days rest. Washington team is pretty banged up. Gibson with his shin. The secondary is quite good for the Broncos. I think everything here tells you that the Broncos D is going to show out and they're going to win the game by a touchdown. So I'll take the Broncos to make it 3-0 for the squad so far.
I don't really love either of these teams, but I'll probably I had Washington. I'll change it to Denver because I need some favorites. Denver hasn't covered, like I said, in a while. Is that, I guess all of us are on Denver then. That's the second one. Yeah. We're all on the same team. All right. Probably the story's game of the week. Let's go primetime. So Dallas going to Minnesota, as we mentioned earlier. I think that Dak is doubtful. And going to Minnesota, where, as you guys know, Kirk Cousins has not been great in primetime games. But Minnesota has now gone from a 2-point dog to a 3-point favorite. So Brandon, we'll start off with you.
Yeah. So Dak Prescott has a calf injury. All right. So that puts, I believe, Rush as a backup quarterback or Gilbert, which pretty much means a loss. Like, just put an L behind both of their jerseys. That's going to be tough. And if Dak does play, gets a cortisone shot, I would probably change my pick here. But no, Minnesota's actually playing. Kirk Cousins is actually playing well. I hate to say it. I hate the Vikings, but he's actually playing well. Justin Jefferson's actually putting up good stats every now and then. The defense is playing all right as well too. I'll take Minnesota. Another favorite. I hate to do this, but I'll take Minnesota with the 3 points.
I like the pick. Yeah, so they have Will Greer and then Rush as well. I'm not sure who's starting. I haven't really seen
Will Greer.
Yeah,
it'll be Rush. It'll be Rush.
Igor.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's a tough spot because if with Dak, I think it's the Cowboys are the much better team. They've shown up throughout, but with the backup QB, I mean, I guess there's still a possibility that they can run the ball pretty significantly and just pound it that way. But look in Minnesota, 3 points. I probably lean toward the Vikings because again, you don't know what you're going to get out of quarterback play. I think Dallas is getting back Michael Gallup this week, or so the rumors say. So they should have a full complement of weapons. But with a backup QB in there on the road, though I can't trust it. I'll take the Vikings.
Michael Gallup likely a week away. I just got an update from yesterday, so he's probably still going to be out. The offense obviously explosive, but when you don't have a guy that can get you the ball, like I said, unless Rush comes out and blows us away, I'll make my pick here. I'm going to take Washington on
Minnesota.
Minnesota. I'll take Minnesota with the 3 points there. Rob, go ahead.
It's pretty impressive to take Washington in the Minnesota-Dallas game, but that's
Kirk Cousins. I'm thinking Kirk Cousins. He was in Washington before.
The roast today.
I talked about my 2 or 3 trap games. This was trap game number 3. Why was Dallas only a 1-point favorite with Dak playing? This was the ultimate, like Vegas wanted every way to bet on Dallas. This was the ultimate trap game. I was going to take Minnesota. I'll still take them, but I really wanted Dak to play because Minnesota was going to win this game, and it was going to Dallas, I believe, was 7-0 against the spread this year. This was going to be their one where Vegas was going to make some money back off them. So
6-0, yeah.
6-0. Okay, sorry. So this was again like the picture perfect trap game. So I'll take Minnesota. I hate taking Kirk Cousins out of the 1 p.m. slot, which is a little worrisome.
Hey, he's got to win one eventually, right? This is probably the game.
So, but I'll take Minnesota here.
On a side note, before I get to the Monday Nighter, can we get Rob some sunglasses and Advil for this segment?
I'm struggling.
Monday Nighter, November 1st. New York Football Giants going to Kansas City. There we go. We got the shades. The Football Giants going to the Chiefs. 9.5 points for the Chiefs. I saw it at 10.5. It's gone down to 9.5. Brandon, can Patty Mahomes get a win and a convincing one?
Guys, please play for Patty Mahomes, right? He has a brother, it's Jackson Mahomes, and his wife is Melania too. Anyways, that's a separate segment. This is a separate segment. But this right now, 9.5 point favorites at home against the Giants. What do the Chiefs do best? Beat up on teams that they should beat, right? And are terrible. And this is just the perfect game for it. They haven't beaten a winning team yet. Unfortunately, are the Giants a winning team? Absolutely not. They're 2-5. So I'm going to take the Kansas City Chiefs to cover 9.5 points. Hopefully, get a blowout here. They have to show out because if they don't, all hell will break loose. It'll be like Brady losing to the Kansas City Chiefs when he was caught in that picture when they showed his jersey again, and of course they thought he was washed. This is going to be a terrible game if they lose. I'm going to take Kansas City 9.5 point favorites.
Igor.
Yeah, I'm going to disagree a tad there because I think with these type of spreads, you usually need a pretty dominant defense on the other end, and the Chiefs certainly aren't that. The offense is struggling. You got guys that are a little bit banged up here and there. And the Giants defense isn't that bad. I think Giants defense, and especially the secondary with Bradbury and so forth, they're going to pose some problems. And I think the Giants are getting healthier in terms of the wide receivers and so forth. I think Tony is going to likely play, I believe, and then and Shepard and so forth. So they're getting healthier. And I just can't trust the Chiefs in that defense and the way that even though they've been playing on offense, very turnover prone. I'm not going to lay down almost double-digit points on that. So give me the Giants to cover that spread.
Rob?
I agree with Brandon in terms of it worries me that the Chiefs beat up on bad teams, but I also agree with Igor's handicap. I thought it's what I would have said. The strength of the Giants team is their front 4, front 7. If you consider the Giants have a strength, in my opinion, they actually have a pretty good D-line, and they're going against an awful line right now at the moment. So it's a lot of points. I'll take the Giants. But like Brandon said, KC has only basically in the last 11 games beaten up bad teams. So it's the one thing that would worry me about taking the Giants is that they feast on these bad teams.
Yeah, I was going to say that I feel like the Giants have been in too many primetime games for a team this bad. And they've also been in a lot of games this year. Obviously, haven't won too many. So I'm going to go through the Giants injury list. They're all probably going to play, but Shepard's on it, Galladay's on it, Ingram's on it. And those are just a few of their receivers, right? I don't, and the Tony, I believe, is going to be playing. I like the Chiefs here. I just think that the Chiefs, and I'll always resent the Chiefs because they blew my survivor in that Bills game, which we could talk about another time. But
why would you ever take them there? That's a weird pick.
It is a weird pick, but I made. I'm
Sorry.
right now. PTSD. You're like having flashbacks to bombs dropping here. So I love Kansas City here, guys. I think I'm gonna go with Brandon's MO there. The Chiefs beat up on bad teams. I think that they're gonna put this together. They've been a joke at home. They've been a joke all season. If you're gonna win big, this is probably one of the teams you're gonna be winning against. So I'll take the Chiefs there on the 9.5. Guys, that wraps up the week. What we'll do now is we'll give our 5. Give everybody a few minutes just to kind of circle your picks. We'll do the same thing as last time. Don't give any sentences, anything. Just give us your 5 picks. We'll run 3 of them. I'll try and run the clip of all of us giving them together. And as long as if anybody doesn't want to go first, I will go unless anybody's already got their 5.
I'll go ahead, Jay.
No, I'll go ahead. So my 5 picks of the week. I got Miami plus the points, Indy minus the points, New Orleans plus the points, Minnesota minus the 3, and Kansas City by 9.5. So once again, Miami, Indy, New Orleans, Minnesota, and Kansas City. Who's up?
Wow. I'll go quickly. I'll just do it. I'm gonna take the Bengals. All right, plus the points, minus the points. I'm gonna take the Tennessee Titans minus the points as well too, or plus the points. Sorry. I'm gonna take. Can't believe I'm doing this, but I'm gonna take the Detroit Lions. All right, I'm gonna take the Detroit Lions. I cannot believe I'm doing that. It's terrible. I'm gonna take the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and lastly, I'll take the Chiefs.
All right,
So
Igor.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh yeah,
So
go ahead. So I got you down at
go,
Cincy, Tennessee, Detroit, Tampa, and Kansas City.
There you go.
So I'm gonna go Chargers to cover the 4. I'm going to go Lions to at plus 3.5. See, I swore I was gonna do a different strategy where I was only gonna take good teams and go and roll with 5 strong teams. But I am gonna say that I'm gonna take the Falcons and going to take the Broncos. And last but not least, I will take the Jaguars and risk it all.
Wow. Yeah,
This
wow.
guy has the Lions and the Jaguars on your line. Awesome.
I was gonna go. I swore I was only gonna go with teams that were 500 and above, and not pick any bad teams because they cost me last week. I went 3-2, and only the 2 bad teams are the ones that cost me. But yeah, this week isn't a good week for that. It looks like so. Yeah, that'll be it.
Rob.
I will go with. I'm actually similar to Igor here. I'll take the Chargers. I'll take Minnesota. I'll take Jacksonville. I'll take Indy. And I will eat some points, and I'll take San Fran.
San Fran. Okay. We'll go one further. Out of your 5, give 1 lock of the week.
Sorry, one
I'll
little
go
change. Sorry, I just want to change one thing.
Yeah.
I'll take the Detroit Lions out. Please put Minnesota. I forgot they're playing against the injured. Yeah, take Detroit out and put Minnesota there. Thank you.
So you
Rob,
got Cincy, Tennessee, Minnesota, Tampa, and Kansas City. So like I said, we'll do 1 pick for our lock of the week. My lock of the week is going to be Indy minus 2.5 against my guys. Hurts to say it, but I'm going Indy. I'm putting it all on the line. Igor, your lock of the week. Spread.
I'm gonna go full lunatic. I'm gonna say that Lions plus 3.5.
Wow. Detroit for Igor's lock. Brandon.
I'm taking Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay minus 4.5 against the Saints.
Tampa Bay. And Rob.
At least, Igor, if you lose, you can plead mega insanity for making Detroit an ultimate. That's a good strategy there. I like yours, Joe. I like Indy, but I'll go different. I'll go Jacksonville. I think I love Jacksonville this week.
I think Jacksonville is might get shut out this week. So let's circle that one.
We
And
shall
look
see.
back to that one next week.
No, let's please circle the Bills game. Circle the Bills game as well too.
The games I have circled that were Miami, the Indy Tennessee game, and the Jacksonville game. Those are the ones that we've circled. Guys, any last thoughts on the week before we wrap it up?
The guy with the Urban Meyer Halloween costume.
Oh my God!
He wins Halloween.
Yeah, with the blow-up doll on the lap at all times.
Oh, fantastic!
I'm sure his wife won't like that one.
Hey, don't sleep on the Bengals, man. They're my survival pick of the week. I'm gonna say right now, I might come back crying next week, but they need to win this game and need to cover the points for me because I'm gonna put some big money in them.
You know, Brandon, you teased something out of me. Cincy are going to do exactly what Tennessee did. They're going to lose to the Jets this week. They are going to lose to the Jets.
To Mike White? Okay, cool. Yeah, you say that. It's fine. Put it down. Circle that game.
We will circle that and come back.
All right, there we go.
Igor, any last thought?
No, I mean, my last thought is I went straight lunatic. I think the Lions get it done. I really I've had this game circled. I'm like, this is the perfect spot for them to get, and they've been so close. I might turn into a Detroit fan just for the game, just because they had some really bad luck, some 60-yard field goals. Like, you got to feel for them a little bit. I think this is where they get it done. I have a real strong feeling that that'll be the situation this week.
I agree with you, Igor. I agree with you.
I listened to a stat that said this is the first time in NFL history through, is it week 7 or is this week 8?
Week 7.
We're in week 8
that
now.
Not one double-digit favorite has lost. Not lost the game.
Yep.
So if you're blindly betting Cincinnati and the survivor, it hasn't happened yet, but a big favorite's going to lose one of these games.
Look at Brandon. Like, I'm not having any of this.
It's going to happen.
I gotta win this, man. I'm gonna have to change my pick really soon, man. Oh my gosh.
Guys, Brandon's gonna need
it's Mike White.
Show.
It's Mike White, man.
Mike White, Mike Jones, all on the low.
And Matt Nagy out for this week. Well, I want to circle that one and come back to that too.
Circle that one too, man. We'll see how that goes. All
right, guys. Been a good one. We'll wrap this one up and we'll get together again next week. Good luck to everybody betting, and hopefully someone go 5 for 5 to get a free pound of wings there on the squad. So we're rooting for everybody here. See you guys next week. Take care, everybody.